Hi students, today let's continue with our discussion on language and linguistics. So let's take the word linguistics. What does that mean? Linguistics is the scientific study of a language. Why is it called a scientific study? Because this is a study of the nature of a language following the methodology of science. They analyze data and formulate a theory to describe the language. Therefore, linguistics is said to be the scientific study of language. There are broadly two types of linguistics. One is diachronic linguistics. The second one is synchronic linguistics. Diachronic linguistics. Diachronic, which means across history. It studies the origin and development and the history of a language in course of time. That's why the name diachronic. And the second one is synchronic linguistics. This studies the nature of a language at a particular point in history. So I hope you understood what linguistics means. The scientific study of language, it attempts the description of the nature of a language. They give us an idea about the system or the underlying principles of a language. And in this class, we will focus on certain other branches of linguistics. Let me begin with phonetics. What is phonetics? It deals with the study of the production of speech sounds. What do you mean by phone? Phone refers to sound, right? Therefore, phonetics deals with the study of the production or the articulation of speech sounds. There are three types of phonetics. 1. Articulatory phonetics. It deals with the articulation or the production of speech sounds. Second one, acoustics phonetics. It deals with the transmission of phonemes or speech sounds. And the third one is auditory phonetics. It deals with the perception or the reception of the speech sounds. So altogether there are three types of phonetics: articulatory phonetics, acoustics phonetics, and auditory phonetics. In general, we can say that phonetics deals with the production, transmission, and reception of speech sounds or phonemes. Phoneme is the minimal distinctive unit of sound. And we do have another branch called phonology. Phonology. So phonology is the study of the systematic organization of speech sounds to the next higher units. Phonology deals with the systematic organization of phonemes. That is, phonemes combine together to form syllables. So how this combination happens, it's been studied scientifically in phonology. So we dealt with phonetics, three types of phonetics. Then we learn what phonology means. And let's learn what is morphology. Morphology studies the internal structure of a word. A word is formed by the combination of syllables, and a syllable is formed by the combination of phonemes. So each word has an internal structure. This is studied in detail in the branch of learning called morphology. Or in simple words, we can say morphology is the study of morphemes. Morphemes are the meaningful parts of a word. And we should also be familiar with other branches which come in linguistics, namely syntax and semantics. Syntax. Let's take syntax. This is a familiar term for you, right? Syntax refers to the grammatic structure of a language, the patterns in a language. And semantics. Semantics refers to the branch of language which studies the meaning, the origin of a word's meaning, and how the meaning of a word underwent changes and so on. This is studied in a branch of learning called semantics. And we should also be familiar with a few other branches, namely etymology, graphology, lexicology, and so on. So let us see what etymology is. Etymology is a branch of learning which studies the root of a word, the origin of a word's meaning, and so on. You take a word and you trace the origin and development of the word and its meaning, how the word got its meaning. This is being studied in detail in etymology. And graphology, the very term gives you a glimpse, right? Graphology means it is something concerned with the script. It studies the conventional signals or the symbols which are used to represent speech. Then you have lexicology. Lexicology studies how words are arranged for the compilation of dictionaries and so on. So we came across so many branches of learning, namely linguistics, synchronic linguistics, diachronic linguistics, phonetics, three types of phonetics, namely articulatory phonetics, acoustics phonetics, auditory phonetics, and we also discussed phonology, morphology, syntax, semantics, etymology, graphology, and lexicology. And when I talk about linguistics, I should also mention that there are a number of branches for linguistics today, like applied linguistics, sociolinguistics, psycholinguistics, comparative linguistics, and so on. So let me just bring to your notice a few words like psycholinguistics and sociolinguistics. I hope you have learned this in your third semester methodology of teaching English paper. Psycholinguistics is all about how you acquire a language and how you use it. Psycholinguistics. And sociolinguistics is the study of a language in relation to a society. So these are the major terms that you should keep in mind when you start studying linguistics as a core paper. And I would also like to draw your attention to the basic differences between human communication and animal communication. There are two major differences between human beings and animals, right? One is human beings can talk, they can communicate verbally. The other one is human beings can smile. And let's see how human language becomes unique and different from that of animal communication. Now focus, we are going to discuss the difference between human communication and animal communication. So there are a few key points. Point number 1. Displacement. This is a feature of human communication. It means human beings can talk about any point of time, and they can talk about something that has happened anywhere in the world. For example, I can talk about something that happened in 1992 in London. But the difference with regard to animal communication is this. Animals can talk only about the now and the here. They cannot refer to something that happened yesterday or something that is going to happen in future. So there are limitations of time and space for animal communication, whereas human beings can freely talk about anything that happened anywhere in the world at any point of history. This phenomenon is called displacement. This is one among the many features which make human communication different from animal communication? Then, point number 2, arbitrariness. In the first class itself, we came across the word arbitrary, which means, the meaning that is attributed to a particular word is only a temporary fact. For example, table, T-A-B-L-E, table. From time immemorial, people have been using the word table to refer to that particular piece of furniture. And everybody has agreed upon the fact that table refers to that particular piece of furniture, and we continue using that in the same sense. But there is no inherent or inseparable connection between the word table and the concept that it denotes. So this phenomenon is called arbitrariness of language. It's only an attributed thing. Meaning is only attributed. It's temporary. Then, moving on to point number 3. That is, human languages are culturally transmitted. Cultural transmission is yet another feature of human communication, which means animal communication is genetically transmitted. The ability to communicate is genetically transmitted in animals. But take for example a girl who is basically a Malayali by birth but who is brought up in Dubai. So this girl does not get much of exposure to the mother tongue, and she frequently listens to Arabic and English. So it's natural that the girl is so fluent in Arabic and English and not that fluent in Malayalam, right? So due to constant exposure, the child is acquiring a foreign language there where she is brought up. So it's culturally transmitted. Language is not genetically transmitted in the case of human beings, whereas it is genetically transmitted in the case of animals. And moving on to the next point. Discreteness. Discreteness. What does that mean? Each speech sound in human communication is unique. It's separate from other sounds. You can clearly distinguish one sound from another sound. And these distinct or discrete sounds can combine in a wide variety of ways to form new linguistic signs. So anyhow, basically you should understand that each phoneme, each speech sound is unique and distinct from each other. And finally, another quality of human communication is duality. Dual means two, something that has two parts or two features. Duality means human communication or human language, it can be spoken and written. See, there are certain human languages which do not have a proper script, but still it can be represented graphically using some symbols. So human languages have something called duality, which means it can be spoken and written, whereas animal communication has no such duality. So today we have discussed what linguistics is, synchronic linguistics, diachronic linguistics. Then we came across the branches of learning such as phonetics, the 3 subdivisions like articulatory phonetics, acoustics phonetics, auditory phonetics, and so on. We also came across phonology, morphology, syntax, semantics, etymology, graphology, lexicology, psycholinguistics, sociolinguistics, and finally we learned how human communication differs from animal communication. So we will continue with a detailed description of the speech sounds of English language in the future sessions. Thank you.